historical is one thing, but what is happening there and what trials we need to conduct, how much we can show them benefit at site also, that it takes say 5-10 days. And then when you are clear with the proposals, we should be able to discuss with them and close the thing, and then submitting the report with implementation plan. That is important. But as it takes typically, let's say 15-20 days, like
for a typical
plan,
small to mid size.
But as it increases, then it changes. But at the same time, we are having multiple skill set people also there, so that we optimize. It should not happen. It is customer want to implement within 1 month, and we are doing audit only 1 month. It should not happen. Something we have to be aware of the timelines of the customer also. When he want output, based on that we can put our plan also.
Okay. All right. So I have 2 more questions, and then we'll take the customer questions. Side. So you mentioned entropy, for example. Okay. So one of the most common problems we face is that it's very difficult to convince people of the practical application of entropy. Okay. So how would you phrase this from your side, for example?
First thing, when you are in academics also, when we are at student also, we have many times question what is use of these terms actually. Correct. So at that time we should not be thinking in that. We should be very thorough with that first, because every phrase, every item has some meaning actually and use actually in the industry also. So when you are seeing entropy actually, as an academic, we should not mug it up and then solve the problem. We should visualize what will happen, what is the use of that. Like it is a disorderliness, we only see disorderliness, but where the disorderness is happening, which equipment it will happen, what is the practicality it happen. Then we have to go apart from industry normal books, we have to go search other books also, or we have to nowadays googling is very easy access to all knowledge. Then you can see what are the typical related things with that, and then we can go it. Entropy, many terms are there which are useful actually.
Absolutely. Okay, and last question I have is so this is a claim I usually make. I just want to put it to test, because you have visited so many different variety of plants. Okay. One of the challenges with the academic education, not only in India, we have seen this overseas also, is that whenever people discuss about steam, they look at it only from the perspective of power generation. So Rankine cycles typically. Okay, so there are variations of Rankine cycles, but that's a very siloed area of application. So how would you characterize the use of steam in process industry compared to power industry? I mean, which is more dominant according to you?
Actually, if you see the steam, there are 2 parts. One is superheated steam and saturated steam.
Right.
So superheated steam is used in the turbine and power generation, which are very, very big plants are there and very limited things. But the saturated steam is used in the process industry, which is actually maximum users are in the saturated area actually. And all the process industry, they use the saturated steam. Now, if you see in engineering book, there is a engineering books are there where the mechanical engineering and the engineering books fundamental. Normally they talk on the turbine, Rankine cycle, like CHP, then heat pumps. Everywhere it is mentioned. But if you see, there are some topics where the steam usage in the process industry. So still, if you see for the chemical engineering, which I have seen, there are certain books where they have very elaborative process industry application. Industry by industry, there is one book which elaborates all processes actually. So I think what the problem is that currently it is called particular in stream only, like chemical engineering. You can learn all the processes. But if you have instrumentation or electrical engineer over there are limited or no such knowledge. So we can some basic thing we can have in the academics also. In certain industry we should know basic what is happening, because finally engineer or science graduate is going to work in industry only. So they should be aware what is happening in what are the processes typically. That awareness, even if you build, then it is helpful actually.
So we, for example, offer the steam engineering course, at Forbes Marshall, which is an upskilling course for which graduates from different streams are also welcome. Okay, we build that knowledge base from ground up for those courses. We even have an upcoming online elective for this, which we are offering to the academia, and we'll be starting details for that very soon. Okay, but there are a couple of other additional examples. So one of the things on that I wanted to check is if we are looking at upskilling for engineers or their employability in industry, okay, having knowledge of these aspects is definitely helpful, right? and there could be some pipeline in their existing curriculum, which may not be directly in depth, because as you know, it's very detailed. Okay, but at least some pipeline from which they can then subsequently decide whether they want to pursue this domain or not.
Yeah,
For
that should
example.
be part of like curriculum, we should say.
Yeah.
Because many colleges, they
Hmm.
have started with a elective of having a energy conservation
Right.
topic, and then in that elective you can select that curriculum is there already fixed. We are helping the college also to how to work on, and we are jointly work with them actually, so that we have a presentation. We have like presentation to them also,
Hmm.
and then we discuss, and then we like discuss with students also. Key apart from that academics, how it will help. So we are actually engagement. We are trying to increase with them, and then we are insisting that they should include as a curriculum, so that awareness increases actually, and then skill set also improve. So that joint partnership also important, because students only visiting, suppose like they have some industry visits also, but that may not help. It is like one or two or three industry they can visit during the internship or something. But having thorough thing on that, then you should include as a like continuous engagement with them. That is expected.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so we'll
Yeah.
take a few audience questions
Yeah.
on this.
Yeah.
So one of the first questions we have is from Dr. Abdul Nimia. In their university, he mentions they're offering energy management short-term certificate course. Is it possible for a collaboration with FM? I'm not sure what university you are mentioning, Dr. Abdul, but we have three laboratories set up at the three primary institutes or universities in Sri Lanka. Okay. So, for example, we are present in University of Peradeniya. We have been there for quite a while. We are present in University of Ruhuna recently. We started there. So we have a lab set up there also, and in University of Moratuwa also. So we conduct training programs through the Forbes Marshall Sri Lanka branch and through their efforts in that region for a lot of industry people. To what Suhas was mentioning earlier in terms of improving or adding the skill set and know-how to the actual industry persons, so that they can implement this on the ground. Okay, so this is something we are already doing. So I'm not sure how the energy management course is structured, but this is a conversation we can subsequently have. Okay, I won't be able to commit to anything at this point, but at least we can initiate a conversation on this. Okay, I hope that answers your question. If there is a follow-up, please write to us. Next, we have there are two queries from Dr. Suraj Mohan from MIT Manipal. So can we get some information on the certification of energy auditor and energy manager? Actually, yes. And most of the topics already adopted in our UG PG syllabus. Are there any specific skills that we need to implement in our curriculum that align with energy auditing? Okay, so I'll take the second question first because I have an answer to that, and I'll give the first question hand over to Suhas for his answer. In terms of any specific skills or any specific knowledge areas that we want to do, we are already in discussion with MIT Manipal regarding converting the open elective, the open engineering, the online open elective on steam engineering and energy conservation as part of the curriculum. Okay, so that conversation is already happening. We have already shared a few details, and I think the discussions with your board of studies are in place right now. Okay, so there is a good to fair chance that when the course begins in July, this is something that can act as a initiator of the pipeline, which we were earlier discussing. Okay, so that's already in place. With respect to some specific skills, that again I will hand over to Suhas. So Suhas, maybe you can take on the certification course for energy auditor and energy manager.
Yeah. So to answer this question, there are certain courses are there. First one is like India Bureau of Energy Efficiency. They are conducting the energy manager and an energy auditor. And then further, if you have experience in industry, historical is one thing, but what is happening there and how what trials we need to conduct, how much we can show them benefit at site also. That it takes say 5-10 days. And then when you are clear with the proposals, we should have training also there available. And then you, if you get certified, then we are eligible to do audits internationally also. Third thing, the CI is also conducting. CI is having the courses for energy like energy management, and actually they are tied up with us also for Marshall. We are jointly doing that. There are certain things are happening with respect to government also, like PCRA, but they are limited to certain like electricals and all this thing. It is not like holistic training programs are there.